So, I'm hearing about a Capricorn plotting and spiritually attacking me again. Jessica's been doing her indirect complex destiny swap attempt on me from since I started any content creation, apparently. Entirely unsurprising to me at this point. I'm hearing I'm being considered to have an ex that could be an air sign. So there are 3 air signs that Jessica probably considers some kind of ex at this point, who have all been working with her to try to get me physically murdered through death magic and extremely egregious divination abuse. So, obviously, it's complete bullshit for anyone to claim any of them are actually my ex, because I've never actually dated anyone, nor ever consented to anyone considering themselves to have been dating me ever at any point. But if I tried to take my best guesses about who she's trying to extremely egregiously misrepresent me as actually having dated entirely at my expense, entirely against my consent, the Libra has got to be Angel's Kimmy. Kimmy's the super obvious one for that, given how much interest I've shown in her. The Gemini has got to be Star Smitten. Celine stands out very obviously to me with how things reached a point where I realized I had to give Celine a chance, in a sense, otherwise she was completely going to sabotage my connection with Kimmy. The Aquarius, I'm pretty sure, is Nux Taku, Nuxanor, Nux, whatever you want to call him. I guess Jessica's been extremely desperate to try to make me look like I'm attracted to men, extremely egregiously exploiting Kimmy and Celine, spiritually being okay with, at least to some extent, identifying as masculine. I guess Nux somehow helps cloak the lie by making it seem like I have some strange obsession with him or something that originates from some sexual reason that in reality is completely false. And then they've been trying to make it seem like I'm a complete fraud by making it seem like I'm into men through that. To be clear, when I say I'm not attracted to men, I mean those who are physically men. Someone that very obviously physically looks like and sounds like a female is a woman for the purposes of considering my sexual preferences. I consider whether they identify as masculine or feminine or both or whatever else spiritually to not really matter much, if at all, as far as if I'll see them as viable, intimate partner material. So whether or not Kimmy and or Celine at all identify as masculine spiritually has never actually at all been something that would invalidate them as intimate life partner potential in my eyes. Anyway, apparently Jessica, Kimmy, Celine, and Nux are all involved in some kind of love affair. Kimmy, Celine, and Nux have been getting paid something from Jessica to participate how she's wanted them to. I don't know or particularly care exactly how. What I do know is I most certainly don't owe any of them any kind of payment for anything. That's for sure. Between Jessica, Kimmy, Celine, Nux, and whoever else was helping, like Arya, I guess all of them thought I'd be able to be manipulated to blindly trust one of them or end up taking a chance trusting them out of desperation or something. I heard they all planned to ultimately get rid of me permanently, which basically would be mainly for Jessica's benefit, since she's been the one that's been most egregiously spiritually attacking me. Maybe they wanted to try to use me even more for wisdom or whatever first, and I heard somehow where they thought I wouldn't even know I was being used. But ultimately, they planned to get me physically murdered. Well, nothing surprising to me there at this point. It also clearly failed, and it doesn't change my position at all. Jessica is trying to misrepresent me as having somehow declined connecting at all with Kimmy, Celine, and Nux. She's trying to misrepresent whether it's physical, spiritual, or both as the method for how I've declined connecting with them. While I refuse to allow any of them to loosely retain access to my energy at all at this point, knowing none of them even seem to have any kind of genuinely good intentions towards me in the energy they've been in, I'm not particularly closed off to direct communication in the physical with any of them. In fact, I now want to press Kimmy even harder to directly contact me, and I'd actually also like Celine to directly contact me. I feel like they both owe me some kind of explanation for their behavior. And they still need to make the decision that the Shadow Confederation Charter makes clear must be made. Either I date just Kimmy and Celine's life is probably destroyed, or I date just Celine and Kimmy's life is definitely destroyed, or Kimmy and Celine must both date me at the same time. Officially, publicly, in the physical. No weird spiritual games or mind games or super shady bullshit. If I don't get clear, direct communication from Kimmy and Celine in the very near future, where they're making a decision from both of them clear, I will again be left back to the only thing that makes any real sense to me, being pursuing formally filing a lawsuit against them in the physical and actively pursue destroying their lives and the lives of their associates. Regardless, I will never compromise my integrity, and I will never walk away from this. The only people I will ever date are Kimmy and or Celine. And I want it to be for life, forever, whether it's one or the other or both of them that I'd be dating. Apparently, because of Jessica's extremely egregious violation of my energy, Kimmy, Celine, and Nux have grown angry and hateful towards me. But really, who they're angry at and hate is Jessica, and I'm quite confident they'll realize that soon enough, if they haven't already. I'm hearing Kimmy and Celine are lesbian and Nux is gay, and they all wanted to use me to hide it somehow, basically. Well, I wouldn't be surprised about any of that. I don't care if Nux is gay. I wouldn't want to date him regardless. And it doesn't make me any more or less inclined to potentially want to be his friend if he wants to be my friend. And Kimmy and Celine being lesbian is basically a requirement if either or both of them are going to date me. I've said many times I identify as a lesbian trans woman, and that's not suddenly changing or something. So, again, nothing shocking to me. I already guessed it all long ago. Apparently, Kimmy, Celine, and Nux all have some sense deep down that they supposedly know I'll never speak to any of them because of Jessica. Well, that's wrong. That seems awfully cowardly to me. After all, if I firmly adopted that position, there's just going to be room for Jessica to try to spin shit to make it seem like I was secretly trying to manipulate her and use her to try to attack all of them or some shit like that. And I certainly don't want that to happen. I see nothing good that would come of me reaching out to any of them with the energy between us being what it is right now. But that doesn't necessarily mean I don't want them to reach out to me, or I wouldn't be receptive or responsive if they did. Right after hearing more about Jessica's plotting, I learned about a Libra new moon that utilized my energy 2 days ago, which clearly reflects a substantial contribution to it. So Kimmy's energy has been most aggressively enabling moon magic attacking me, and it's been trying to keep me constantly at least about 2 days behind spiritually. It talked about a focus on relationships, love, harmony, balance, and where that applies in my life. I've already been focused on that and didn't need any guidance on it. Something about heightened awareness about what's fair or being fair, equal give and take. So I guess Kimmy is realizing she's increasingly doomed if she doesn't start actually being more fair in our connection. Something about love and connection being ruled by Venus, which was supposed to make it more powerful. The only connection I can make with Venus is how others have used it in ways I don't understand in order to obsess over their finances through egregious divination abuse exploiting my energy. There was something about a rose quartz crystal being the embodiment of love and connection and relationships. It would apparently be super helpful to grab it and carry it along with me over the next week or so. So Kimmy's been extremely egregiously exploiting crystals and their supposed significance to me in order to do this moon magic. I don't own or carry around any crystals, nor do I find any particularly relevant to my life or to hold special meaning to me personally. The point of this Libra new moon was a new start, bringing in a fresh start, setting intentions and planting energetic seeds about things I want to manifest, getting clear on all the intentions and visions I have because I'm so powerful and I'm able to draw those in. Something about harnessing love but keeping boundaries. A bunch of guidance I never needed for some kind of new or fresh start I never wanted. So Kimmy has been extremely egregiously divination abusing with crystals to constantly bring in fresh starts for herself entirely at my expense, entirely against my consent. Well, that's going to have to end real quick unless she plans on manifesting herself getting murdered. I don't want any kind of new beginning or fresh start. I want follow through on getting what I want and deserve in the life I've built for myself. I didn't fucking build it to start over somehow or completely pivot like a stupid coward right as I should be about to get everything I've always wanted. I currently see reason to suspect Jessica, Kimmy, Celine, Nux, as well as various offline TV and Friends members are aggressively actively right now attempting to send death magic to me to get me murdered by a hitman tonight or at some point in the near future, mainly through Kimmy's energy. This is a very much clear and intentional return to sender.